So the last few bullet journal videos I've done have been time-lapse videos setting up for the month ahead. So I thought it might be nice to do a more chatty update and talk through a few things that I have added and changed. June has actually been a really busy month for me, and so I've used my journal in a few different ways to accommodate that. I've got my tea and I've got all the stationery I need, so let's get going. So I'm still really enjoying having my monthly spread in this way. I like being able to have somewhere for the month where I can write everything down at a glance. So things like my driving lessons, plans that I know I've got coming up, it's really nice to have it all in one place. However, I do feel like I'd like to switch this up a little bit, so maybe I'll try something slightly different this month. When I first started this journal, I didn't know whether to keep it all just very black and white, and although I think that looked really nice, I've liked adding an injection of colour here and there. So I do think that's something I'm going to carry on with. Again, I've still really simplified down my weekly spreads. I feel like this is the most effective way of me tracking my weeks at the moment. Just using my Crayola Super Tips for a little bit of colour. I'll just talk you through quickly what my most used pens are at the moment for my journal. The Crayola Super Tips, I originally bought these to practice doing some lettering in this journal. I'm still doing bits and pieces here and there, but I've actually found I really like using them just to add little borders and almost using them like highlighters really. To do my main writing in my journal, I pretty much just use whatever fine liner I can get my hands on. And the other ones I really like using are these Staedtler, I don't know how you say it. And then I've got my Tombow brush pen, which one side is like a brush and the other's like a fine marker, and that's also really useful for doing headings. I still haven't mastered it yet, and you'll see some pretty dodgy lettering coming up, but I am trying. So I'm currently switching over all of my platforms to k2kdiy.com, and I'm having a little renovation of my Etsy shop and working on lots of new ideas that I'm really excited about. Incorporate a lot more painting and painting elements, hand painted fabrics, changing some of my platforms over. My blog is now k2kdiy.com and I'm really pleased with it. It's going to have lots of tutorials, lots of creative ideas. For me, the sort of content that I really like reading and really like watching is people talking about how they've developed their ideas. So I'm going to try and incorporate more of that, as well as lots of DIY. So what my journal has been really useful for is just really streamlining it. The main ideas and things I'm working on, I wanted to go in here, so it's just a really easy place to reference that. Here's just more weekly layouts, because this is so easy to do and isn't time consuming at all, so I just planned them all out one after the other, so it was super easy to fill in. So I really like working at my finances at the start of the month, just so I know where I'm at with my money, and I find this a really useful thing to do, or whenever I get paid. So this is probably my favourite few pages from the month. Last week I went to Barcelona for one of my friend's hen do's. Before we went, I wanted to write down in my journal a list of the things I wanted to buy when I went shopping. So yeah, I'm really pleased with this. I think it looks really fun, but I also think it's one of those spreads that I'll look back on. I'll have really fond memories of the trip. And then on the other side, I just did my packing list. I broke down what we were doing on each day, so I knew what I needed to take. And that takes me up to this week. And again, it's so quick and easy to put together a weekly spread like this. I don't even use a ruler, so it probably looks quite messy, but actually when it comes to sitting down and taking 5 minutes to just plan the week ahead on a Sunday night or whatever, it's actually really quick and easy to do. And then the last few pages, again, like I was saying earlier about just changing my platforms over and making sure everything's up to date, and all the things I want to do before I reopen my Etsy shop. So I just wrote them all down here, and with just a simple tick off list as and when I do them. Very last thing is just a wish list, a few like art supplies and a few other things remind myself to get. So that's June covered, and I'm now ready to start planning for July.